Alright, let's do a pack one, pick one with the Onslaught pack we opened the other day. Again, this is for a Chaos draft, so we'll decide our picks and I'll give my evaluations based on that. Backslide, 2 mana to turn target creature with more face down. Not useful in the Chaos draft. It's more useful for the cycling ability actually, so 1 mana to draw a card. And just because of that, it might be a little better. At least it's a cantrip that can't be countered. Wirewood Elf, 2 mana, 1/2 mana dork. That's actually pretty okay for Chaos Draft. Obviously a little slower than like a 1 mana dork, but it's alright. It can block 1/1s at least. Crown of Suspicion, I don't know, like you kind of want it to ping off a 1/1, but other than that, it's not too great. It does have that extra ability of sacking it, but I don't think too many creatures will share creature type. I'm sure it'll have its uses, but not too exciting for me. I mean, because would I want a card that says 2 mana give something -1/-1, or 2 mana do 1 damage to a creature? I don't think so. Grassland Crusader, 6 mana for 2/4 Cleric Soldier, but you can tap it to give an Elf or Soldier +2/+2. I mean, Elf and Soldier are usually pretty common, but 6 mana is steep. It doesn't even have that good of combat stats, so that's a no for me. Charging Slateback, 5 mana 4/3 that can't block, or you can morph it. You can do some pretty tricky things with it, but that's like 3 mana to play it and 5 mana to morph it. Not too appealing. Playable, but not first pickable for me. Choking Tethers. This is a pretty good cycling card. I mean, late game you can essentially blank their blockers. Early game you cycle it, tap something, get a little value out of it. I mean, this card is probably only good because it cycles and has an extra ability when you cycle it. I mean, you kind of compare it to like Pressure Point, where it was like 2 mana tap a creature, draw a card. But at least this way you have the option of tapping 4 things, so it's actually pretty okay. Maybe not first pickable, but higher on my list of things so far. Disciple of Grace, 1/2 pro black. It does cycle, and it is a cleric, which can be relevant, but not too much here. At least it cycles, I guess, but not too great for me. Spurred Wolverine, 3/2 for 5 mana. Tap 2 and tap beasts. Target creature gains first strike. Can't really lean too heavily on the tribe payoffs in a Chaos draft, so yeah, and it's pretty weak for 5 mana. Spy Network. This card's actually pretty fun. Like, look at everything and then look at the top 4 and rearrange it. Unfortunately, it doesn't draw you a card, and it's not really card advantage, and it doesn't really affect the board. It's fun. Like, I would have a good laugh playing it, but yeah, it's not gonna do anything for me otherwise, other than give me and my opponent a laugh. Skirt Commando. This card's like, I want it to be good, but 3 mana 2/1 is already pretty weak, and you need to get in there to deal 2 damage to a creature. Yeah, I mean, you're obviously supposed to morph it, but it's pretty slow, so not a fan. Ascending Aven, 4 mana 3/2 that can only block creatures with flying, but it can morph. I mean, 4 mana 3/2 flyings is pretty normal, but the downside of 2 blue pips and can't block ground creatures, I don't think it's worth the morph mechanic. I mean, it might just be good just because it's a flyer. So yeah, I guess it's higher on my list just because of that. As I always say, sometimes all you need is a flyer to win a game. Shield Mage Elder, 6 mana for a 2/3, but it has Cleric and Wizard's payoff. Again, can't lean on the tribes, so this is just an expensive 2/3 most of the time. Although you can tap itself, right? So if you have one other Cleric or one other Wizard, but even then it's not, the payoff isn't that great. Daru Encampment, a soldier payoff, and it taps for colorless. Doesn't enter tap, so low cost to play. In a chaos draft, if I had like, I don't know, 3 or 4 soldiers, I guess I'd pick this up, but that would definitely be later in the draft and not first pickable. Fight Shroud Courier, 3 mana 2/1, a zombie payoff, so really just a 3 mana 2/1. But if I could, well, I guess it could target itself, so it can block as a 4/3, but that's not even that great. So unless I can give it Vigilance, like attack with Vigilance, use its ability on itself, but that's not even that good. There's a lot of hoops to jump through to do not much. Yeah, so really just a 3 mana 2/1, although zombies are pretty common creature type. And our rare is Patriarch's Bidding, which I guess if I was value drafting, I'd just take this right away because nothing else really stuck up in the pack. I mean, it'd be fun to try to pick up creature types, but it probably wouldn't do what you want it to do. But yeah, so if I were value drafting, that would be the pick. But if it was just like for fun or rare redrafting and trying to play to win rather than play for value, what sticks out? Wirewood Elf, Choking Tethers, and Ascending Aven. Those are the 3 that kind of stick out. I guess Choking Tethers, I should see it more as a 2 mana tap a creature, draw a card, which I wouldn't play most of the time. Wirewood Elf just seems like a safe pick, but Ascending Aven is probably the more proactive pick. 3/2 flyer, it'll do what you want it to do, so that would be my pack 1 pick 1. What do you guys think?